What if I told you that one man from a small Caribbean island inspired millions of people across the globe? A man whose ideas helped shape the civil rights movement. A man whose message of black pride and self-determination echoed from Jamaica to America, from Africa to the Caribbean. A man who never led an army, never held political office, never commanded a nation. Yet his influence would reach presidents, revolutionaries, freedom fighters, and ordinary people searching for dignity in a world that often denied them humanity. His name was Marcus Messiah Garvey. To some he was a visionary, to others he was controversial. But whether people agreed with him or not, one thing was undeniable. Marcus Garvey started a movement that changed history. This is the story of the man who inspired a global movement. Marcus Garvey was born on August 17, 1887, in St. Ann's Bay, Jamaica. At the time, Jamaica was still under British colonial rule. The island had been shaped by centuries of slavery, exploitation, and inequality. Although slavery had officially ended decades earlier, freedom had not brought equality. Most black Jamaicans remained poor. Land ownership was concentrated in the hands of a small elite. Opportunities were limited, and racial hierarchies continued to define society. Marcus grew up witnessing these realities firsthand. His father, Marcus Garvey, was a stonemason and an avid reader. He owned a substantial collection of books. Young Marcus spent countless hours reading history, politics, philosophy, religion. The books opened his mind to a world beyond Jamaica's shores. But education also revealed something troubling. Again and again, he saw stories celebrating European achievements while ignoring the accomplishments of African peoples. The message was subtle but powerful. It suggested that greatness belonged to others, not to people who looked like him. Garvey would spend much of his life challenging that idea. As a young man, Garvey worked as a printer. The job gave him access to newspapers and political discussions. It also exposed him to labor struggles and social inequality. Seeking opportunity, he traveled throughout Central America and the Caribbean. What he saw disturbed him. In country after country, black workers faced discrimination. They performed some of the hardest labor, yet they received the fewest rewards. Whether in Jamaica, Costa Rica, Panama, or elsewhere, the pattern seemed familiar. Colonial systems enriched a few while keeping many in poverty. Garvey began asking questions. Why were people of African descent treated this way across so many countries? Why did they lack political power? Why did they struggle to control their own economic destinies? The more he traveled, the more convinced he became that the problem was global. And if the problem was global, the solution would have to be global as well. In 1912, Garvey traveled to London. The city was the center of the British Empire. There he encountered scholars, activists, and political thinkers from around the world. He studied history intensely, particularly African history. What he learned challenged the narratives he had encountered growing up. Africa was not a continent without history. It was home to ancient civilizations, powerful kingdoms, innovative cultures, and rich intellectual traditions. Yet much of this history had been erased or ignored by colonial powers. Garvey became convinced that psychological liberation was just as important as political liberation. Before people could change their circumstances, they had to believe in their own worth. They had to reject the idea that they were inferior. They had to reclaim pride in their heritage. This belief would become the foundation of everything he did. In 1914, Garvey returned to Jamaica and founded the Universal Negro Improvement Association, known as the UNIA. Its mission was ambitious: to unite people of African descent worldwide, to promote economic independence, to encourage education, to foster pride and self-respect. At first, the organization remained small, but Garvey believed he was planting seeds that would eventually grow into something much larger. In 1916, he moved to the United States, and there, his movement exploded. Garvey arrived in New York during a period of tremendous change. Thousands of African Americans were moving north in what became known as the Great Migration. Communities were growing, new cultural movements were emerging. Harlem was becoming a center of black intellectual and artistic life. Garvey quickly gained attention. He was an extraordinary speaker. His speeches were powerful, emotional, and inspiring. Crowds filled meeting halls to hear him speak. He delivered a message many people had never heard before. You are not inferior. You do not need permission to be proud. You come from a people with a rich history. You have the power to shape your own future. For many listeners, these words were transformative. The UNIA expanded rapidly. Branches appeared across the United States, then throughout the Caribbean, then in Africa, then elsewhere around the world. By the early 1920s, it had become one of the largest black-led organizations in history. Millions followed Garvey's message. The movement published newspapers, held conventions, organized community events, and created educational programs. People joined because Garvey offered something many had never experienced: hope. Not hope based on waiting for others. Hope based on believing in themselves. Garvey understood that economic power mattered. Political rights alone were not enough. Communities also needed businesses, investment, ownership, economic independence. To advance this vision, he launched the Black Star Line, a shipping company intended to connect people of African descent across the world. The goal was bold: create commercial links, support trade, build economic networks independent of colonial systems. Supporters enthusiastically purchased shares. Many invested their savings. For them, the Black Star Line represented more than a business. It symbolized possibility, a chance to build something for themselves. Unfortunately, the company faced enormous challenges: financial difficulties, management problems, external opposition. The venture struggled and eventually failed. Critics mocked Garvey, but supporters saw something else: a leader willing to dream on a massive scale. As Garvey's influence grew, so did opposition. Many powerful figures viewed him as a threat. Some disagreed with his methods, others feared his popularity. Government agencies monitored him closely. Newspapers criticized him. Political rivals attacked him. Garvey was not a universally admired figure. Even within black communities, opinions were divided. Some believed his ideas were unrealistic. Others felt he was too confrontational. But regardless of disagreement, few could ignore him. His movement had become impossible to overlook. In 1923, Garvey was convicted of mail fraud related to Black Star Line promotional materials. The case remains debated by historians. Supporters argued he was unfairly targeted. Critics viewed the conviction differently. What is certain is that the trial dealt a severe blow to his movement. Garvey was imprisoned. For many leaders, that would have been the end. But Garvey's ideas proved more resilient than any prison sentence. His followers continued spreading his message. His writings continued circulating. His influence continued growing. After serving part of his sentence, Garvey was deported from the United States. He returned to Jamaica. Many assumed his political career was finished. They were wrong. Garvey continued writing, speaking, organizing, advocating. He remained committed to the ideals he had championed for decades. Even when public attention faded, he refused to abandon his mission. What made Garvey so influential? It wasn't wealth. It wasn't military power. It wasn't political office. It was an idea. The idea that people of African descent should see themselves as worthy, capable, powerful. The idea that they should write their own future. The idea that pride could be revolutionary. These concepts resonated deeply, especially in a world shaped by racism and colonialism. The reach of Garvey's influence extended far beyond his own lifetime. Many future leaders drew inspiration from his ideas. Civil rights activists, African independence leaders, Pan-African thinkers, political organizers. His emphasis on self-determination helped shape conversations across continents. Some adopted his philosophy directly. Others adapted parts of it. But his fingerprints could be found throughout 20th century liberation movements. As African nations pursued independence, Garvey's message found new audiences. His calls for unity, self-respect, economic empowerment, and political independence. These themes resonated with people seeking freedom from colonial rule. Although Garvey did not live to see the wave of African independence that swept the continent after World War II, many of the ideas he championed anticipated that moment. His vision helped inspire generations who believed a different future was possible. Like many influential figures, Garvey remains a complex historical figure. Some of his positions continue to generate debate. Historians still discuss aspects of his strategy, rhetoric, and political decisions. But complexity does not erase significance. Whether praised or criticized, Marcus Garvey changed the conversation. He challenged assumptions. He inspired millions. He forced people to think differently about race, power, identity, and possibility. Garvey spent his later years continuing to write and advocate for his beliefs. Though the peak of his movement had passed, he remained committed to his cause. In 1940, Marcus Garvey died in London at the age of 52. He never witnessed many of the transformations his ideas would help inspire. He did not see most African nations gain independence. He did not see the civil rights victories of the 1950s and 1960s. He did not see the generations that would carry elements of his vision forward. But history would. Marcus Garvey never commanded armies. He never ruled a country. He never became president. Yet few individuals have influenced so many people across so many nations. His greatest achievement was not a company, not an organization, not a political campaign. His greatest achievement was changing how people saw themselves. He taught millions that dignity could not be granted by others, it had to be claimed. He taught that pride in one's identity was not arrogance, it was liberation. And he demonstrated that a single idea, carried by a determined individual, can travel farther than anyone imagines. More than 80 years after his death, Marcus Garvey's name is still remembered. His speeches are still studied. His ideas are still debated. And his impact can still be felt around the world. Because some movements are built on power, others are built on wealth. But the most enduring movements are built on belief. And Marcus Garvey gave millions of people something to believe in. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more stories about the remarkable people who shaped the Caribbean and changed the course of history. Thanks for watching.